Hi, and welcome to my channel. I am Delise, and today we are going to talk about overprotective boundaries. The most important thing about boundaries is that they enable us to be connected to ourselves and to others. And there are certain types of boundaries that interfere with connection. One of those is when our boundaries have become too protective and too strong, which we might refer to as an impenetrable wall. And so as a way of exploring this, we're going to talk about how this boundary might develop around our feelings. So let's take a look. Like most things in life, it starts in childhood. We learn as people respond to us and as we learn what we can express, how to connect with others, we learn about boundaries. So let's just take our feelings. Feelings and emotions are an important and vital part of us and our experience. Feelings connect us to the world around us and communicating to those around us what we are experiencing. So if we get the message that our feelings are not okay, then this is a boundary violation. Essentially, the people around us who are giving that message are invading our emotional world by communicating this about our feelings. It's an attempt to control our feelings, change them, stop them by making them wrong in some way. So how people typically do this? One of the most common ways is simply criticizing our feelings. Tell us that there's something wrong with them when we express them. Our family can also model no emotional expression themselves and just not value feelings, that they don't see them as serving any purpose. Another way is to make fun of them. Taunting you for being a crybaby is a humiliation. Or there's just outright controlling you. It's easy to overpower a child in some way to stop them feeling or expressing how they feel. And then there's the other side where not giving you attention at all is a message that your feelings are not worth paying attention to. And then there's gaslighting, where someone or your family convinces you to question and doubt what you are feeling whenever you express it. So these are common ways you would get the message your feelings are not okay. And over time, the result of this is to feel more and more pain and shame around expressing your feelings. This pain becomes associated with your feelings as wrong and not to people's reactions to your feelings. This is the message that you internalize, that your feelings are the problem. So once you've taken this in and given this, you have to do something about your feelings and your emotional expression. So you learn to not express them by keeping them in. And in order to not express them and keep them in, then it would be easier if we don't feel them. So having taken in this message, you learn you need to do something about your feelings. And so you work at keeping them in and not expressing them. In order to not express them, it would be easier if you didn't feel them. So you also can cut off your actual feelings and your connection to your own feelings. So in this way, you have a strong protective boundary between you and feeling your feelings, so you are not aware of them, and a strong protective boundary between other people and your feelings. These are the walls around your emotions. So how does this affect our connection with other people? We all are naturally built to be social, to want connection, to want companionship. However, as we begin to feel a connection to somebody or get close to them, then the part of you that's afraid to express your feelings kicks in to protect you from expressing too much. Your walls come up. So if we have less of our feelings available to us, then it can affect our relationships in a number of ways. Our relationships can be superficial and distant and kind of lacking in warmth. Emotions are very important to empathy, giving us the ability to put ourselves in other people's shoes and know how they are feeling, or at least sense how they are feeling. So having less access to your feelings can affect your ability to be empathic. Without emotional intimacy in a relationship, it can become deadened and unexciting. There's less passion. So partners and friends may be affected by these qualities in the relationship by possibly withdrawing. There isn't really a connection to keep them there, or it doesn't really go very deep. Or partners can get frustrated with trying to get you to open up, and so then they start to criticize you, and so on and so forth. And this causes conflict in the relationship. So as these things are happening in relationship, this can reinforce to us the original pain of there being something wrong with our emotional self and world, and that we're going to get criticized or ignored or withdrawn from or rejected. So in this way, we're caught within this system within ourselves of this loop back to the original experience and boundary violation, and how that internalized message keeps getting reinforced with the way in which we are experiencing our relationships and other people are experiencing us, actually because of the protection that we've built up so strongly. So unless we have new experiences around our emotional expression, we're going to get stuck in this loop and the pain that we carry from our early experiences. So there may be two ways in which we can begin to get unstuck from this system and to have less rigid and less protective walls as boundaries. So the first is to begin to have more of a relationship with yourself and your emotions. And that may sound simple, not so simple to do, and certainly might be difficult to do on your own. So working with a therapist can help that. A simple exercise that you can practice every day is just taking some time at the end of the day to reflect on what happened during that day and begin to just identify what you might have been feeling in response to those events. And see if you can begin to identify sensations in your body as you think about those events. So as you become more connected to your feelings, it's going to be important to let go of the pain that you carry from the past, so that you don't have to protect yourself so strongly against feeling that, and that you don't have to protect yourself from other people who might trigger that pain. Secondly, having a new experience where you get to express your feelings and take in that others actually are okay with your feelings is going to go a long way to change that message that you've internalized. Of course, that doesn't always happen, so it's a risk. It's a risk to express ourselves and take that chance. However, one thing that we could say for certain is that if we don't take that risk, then we're not going to get that experience. So again, it might be a good place to start with a therapist who is going to be present with you and listen deeply to your experience without judgment. And then you can feel more confident having that experience in therapy to be able to go out into the world and take that risk with other people. So thank you for joining me today, and I look forward to the next time.